Hello, welcome to InStudio. I'm Ian and Butterfield, and welcome to my beginner's guide to Photoshop. In today's video, we're going to look at the whole idea of layers. What are they? How would we use them? So let's head over to Photoshop and let's see what we can do with them. Right, okay, we've got an image here of desert scene with some camels in there. So let me go full screen, you can see it a little bit better. And this is going to be the image we're going to be working with. So why would we use a layer? Well, layers are down here. This is the panel, and layers are a way of working non-destructively. So I'm going to create a new layer. I hit the plus sign there, and we get this new blank layer. If I just hide the background layer, we'll see it's completely blank. That checkerboard means there's nothing on there. Now I'm going to keep that as my selected layer, and I'm going to do my adjustments to this, any changes I want to do it on this layer so that I can do it non-destructively. Let's take the clone stamp from here, and I'm just going to zoom in on this section of the image. And there are a few things in there. I've gone up to, let's go down to 100% on here. There are a few things we might want to remove. We've got a little bit of a mark down here. So clone stamp, you press the Alt key to select where you want to sample from. I'm going to sample from here, and I can then just simply paint over. And make that a little bit bigger using the right square arrow key. I'm going to sample from here, and you can see it shows me what it's going to do. So I'm now just going to paint over that section. It's not matched very well, but it'll do. Let's pick a little bit from around here. Just match that in and around there. Yep, that's fine. Now I've got this big rock over here. Let's see if we can't get rid of that. So I'm going to sample from just above it and start painting. Now, what's going on here? Well, what's happening is, if we look at the top of the screen, I've got the blank layer selected. I've got the settings on this clone stamp tool to say current layer and below. So it's looking for pixels on the current layer and what's below when I sample. So it's then allowing me to paint those onto the image. But where's it painting them? It's painting them on the blank layer. So let me finish the rock and we'll see why that's important. So let me just keep Alt just to sample, and I'm just going to sample around here. More or less got it now. I'm going to actually sample from the front here, from there, and just bring that round like that. And yeah, that will do nicely on there. Oh, got another mark here in the sand I don't like, so I can select that, and print out, and paint it out. Now all that is on this top layer. Let's just reposition this, and I'm going to hide the background layer, and you can see these sections are the bits that I painted. So these are my corrections to it. Bring the background layer in. Why is that a good thing? Because it means if I decide, well, actually, that rock really was important to this scene, I'd like it back. If I'd done all that onto the background layer, I couldn't do that. But now I can pick up an erase brush here. That's a very big erase brush. Bring it down. And I can just say, right, I'm on this transparent layer at the top there. I'm just going to erase my adjustment and bring the rock back. Now we can use that idea on other things as well. Let's suppose I've got another photo here with a fallen statue. I'm going to bring that in, use the move tool. I grab hold of this and I hover over the tab that I want until it comes up. I then bring it down onto the screen and I just let go, and it's dropped it on there as a separate layer. Now, because it's a separate layer above everything else, I can move this around to where I want to place it. I want to place it round about here, I should think. Actually, you know, it's not easy to position it, is it? So it would be nice if I got some way of seeing where I want to position it. Well, guess what? We have. And we can use a thing called opacity to do that. Got the layer with the statue on selected. I can change the opacity down to say 50%. And you can see, I can see through it now to see where my statue is. So I can now position the statue exactly where I want it. So I want it there. Change my opacity back up. In fact, I'm just going to move it across on there. And now I can use that same trick that I did on that adjustment layer to reveal the background behind here. So let me take the delete brush again, make it a nice large one using the right square bracket key, and I can just start painting that out. And oh, whoops, I've gone over his head and a bit of the body. Ah, that doesn't look good, does it? Oh dear. Right. That was deliberate. I wanted to show you the problem of just using a delete brush like that. You can't undo it, or you can't selectively undo it. But there is a solution. I'm going to do Control-Z to undo all of that. And instead of using the delete, I'm going to use what's called a layer mask. Now, the layer mask is put in there using the option down here, which is the black circle on the white background. I do that, and it creates this layer mask attached to the current layer. And you can see here, that's now selected. It's got those little brackets around it. So that's where I'm going to be working. So what does a layer mask do? Well, a layer mask controls being able to see through the layer. So I can now take a paintbrush, and you'll see the layer at the moment, it's white, which means you can't, that it's not allowing anything from below to show through. If I paint black on there, what's below will show through. So, for example, if I just do this, you can see now I'm starting to show through the camels and everything else that's under there. So I can now keep painting just to reveal what's underneath. Let me go full screen, you can see it's a lot better. I can just keep painting around and reveal the scene below. And I'm just going to make my brush much, much bigger on here, so I can do this quickly, and I'm going to do it very quickly. And you see now, I've got this scene, but I've gone over the statue again, as I did before with trying to do this. But fear not, if we look down here, we can see black at the top, white below. So if I change this over to white and use a smaller brush, I can start painting the white back in on here to say, right, don't show through what's below, just show me the statue. So let's get that in here. And I'm doing this very, very quickly because it's a tutorial. If I had more time, I could do this much more accurately. And I can paint him back in, all the way on there, and make the brush even smaller for the headpiece, coming through on there, like that. So, and just refine those edge bits. A little bit up here. Again, I'm going to hit the X key to change from white to black, and I can just tidy this all up. We've got that little bit of a black shadow that I don't want on there. And something like that. So now what we've got is our statue with the camels behind. And we've got three different layers over here. We've got our background layer. If I hold the Alt key and press the little I button, it just reveals that one layer. We've got the background layer, hit it again, brings everything back. We've just got the corrections layer on there. And then we've got our statue on here. Now, you can see here that some of it's come through on there. So I'm still on my adjustment layer. X to make sure I'm on white, make the brush just a little bit larger, and I can just make sure all that's filled in and that there's no transparency on there. So we got that into the scene. Right, so we've got that, Alt and on there, and that's put it into the scene with the camels. Now that's a very quick tutorial. I've not done those edges particularly well, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what layers can do. You have one thing on top of another. It hopefully is giving you an idea a little bit about masking. I'll talk more about masking as we go on with this series. So next time we're going to carry on looking at layers, but we're going to look at how layers interact with each other, and we're going to talk about what's called blend modes. So see you in the next video for talking about blend modes. Bye for now. Keep making great photos. Thanks for watching.